What's happening, guys? It's been one hell of a day. Let me tell you, I've got I had some major shit go on last night as far as my laptop, and there was something involving the drivers, and one driver so happened to be outdated or something, and I tried updating it, and it screwed up my whole program, and ended up shitting me out of many drivers, needless to say. So I ended up having to do a complete here's the problem. When it took one of the drivers out, it was the I want to say it was one that had to do with the internet, and I had no way of getting the laptop to go online to find the driver, so I ended up having to just say to hell with it and do a factory restore. Well, so I've been home now for a little over, about 2.5 hours, and trying to get everything with it straightened back out. And I've got everything good for now except for Photoshop, which I'm downloading a torrent for that. Well, I've already downloaded the torrent downloader itself, and I had to go find a torrent to download. The first one I tried sucked. But anyway, as promised, we're going to do this, and we're going to see what we can get done. As far as it's concerned, it's completely untouched. I haven't done anything other than move it because I had to bring the truck in here last night to get it out of the storm. I've tried to find, let's see, what size is it? It's a 13th, 16th socket, and I don't know what that is equivalent to in metric, but either way, I don't have the right size. So right now, this right here is a 7/8, and it just is enough just to get on a good amount, a decent bite. I mean, I probably could use a wrench on it, but either way, as long as it gets it cracked open, that's all that matters right now. But rather than me sitting here trying to figure out somewhere to put the phone at to film, I'm just going to do everything step by step. Right now, I'm going to take I'm going to dump the gas out of it. I'm not going to mess with the oil because the oil's okay right now. I'm just going to dump the gas out of it and find something to put it in somewhere. I may just dump it in a little oil thing over there, but I'm going to dump the gas out of it and take the spark plug out, take the air breather off, the filter and all that bullshit, and we're going to try to spray a little carb cleaner in it, put a little bit of gas in it, and see what happens. Because if I can do it all without having to take all the shit apart, then we'll be golden. But I'm going to do it step by step so you're not left behind. Okay, well, I went inside real fast and checked on that Photoshop shit, and that one is not going to work either. I can't remember where I found the other one at, but I have got to find the correct one. And it ain't got to be the newest one, it's just got to be one that's going to work. It's not that I haven't taken the time to look, it's just that I've got too much shit going on to be looking right now. I'm not sure if you can really tell. Hold on, I don't know if I can. I don't think I can turn I was trying to see if I could turn the light on, but I can't do that. Okay, so we're not going to worry about that right this minute. Now I'm going to take the breather cover and filter and all that shit off. Now have the carb exposed, as so. You can see the jets down in there. I mean, the inside of the carb don't look too bad, and then there's the filter. I want to say that little tube that runs off of it, it's kind of like a sort of like a exhaust recirculatory type valve or whatever, whereas the gases and the oils and shit that don't get burnt off, was it in the combustion? No, would it be the exhaust stroke? I can't remember, but anyway, the shit would come in and go right into the carb and then goes right back in and try to reburn itself to be more cleanly, I guess, or to be more efficient. I mean, I don't know. Let's get that spark plug out and see what it's looking like now that it's sat for a couple of days. All right, well, I got the spark plug out and I can see just a little bit of dampness on it still. I'm going to clean that up and spray a little bit of cleaner into the carb. Put it back in and see what we got. So we're going to focus. Probably not. Trying to get it focused. Shit. It's not going to work. Let me try it on a... Let's see if we can get it on a... But anyway, you get the idea. Alrighty. Well, cleaned it up a little bit. I still haven't added any gas or anything like that. I sprayed a little into the actual chamber itself where the spark plug would go, and gave it a few pulls or whatever to try to help dry it in or whatever, and I gave this a little splash and rubbed it with a wire brush. Not that you really can fucking see, because it won't focus. It won't. It just won't. No, it won't. Anyway, fuck it. You guys know what a spark plug looks like. So, with me giving it a few pulls, I'm going to attempt to put the spark plug back in, hook it back up, give it a little bit of sniff. Well, actually, I may give it a few turns, pull a few I can't fucking talk. Give it a few pulls and see if it'll even hit without any gas or anything in it. Because there is a little bit of you know, obviously carbon choke cleaner is flammable, so it may actually hit with that on it. But we'll try. All right, so that's about the best as I can give you guys for a shot. We're going to, I did pull it one time a minute ago and it did spit, but I have not touched it anymore since. So I'm going to give it another pull and see what happens. Alright, you guys heard that for yourself, that, you know, it tried to start. It had a little bit of a kick to it. It didn't have that before. I just want to try to make sure that I tell you what, if I got anything I can put a little bit of gas in out here, you can't just be throwing the gas and just any old thing, you know what I'm saying? Shit. I guess I'll have to add a little bit to the tank. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see how it works. Pull the pants up the way you guys ain't got to look at no ass crack. I may walk on the other side and see. Might not see it anyway. This is fresh gas. I just got this the other day. Alright, that should be good enough right there. We're just trying to test. We're not trying to, you know, fuck around and do nothing stupid. Let's see. I haven't primed it. I'm not going to right this second. I want to see maybe if it'll pull the gas on its own. Alright, so what we need to do is we need to pull the spark plug out again and make sure that it hasn't got any dampness on it. Come on, son of a bitch. Oh, that's beautiful. A little dirty now. Definitely got some carbon built up in there pretty bad. That's going to be a subject I'm going to get into as well coming up. I don't know when, maybe tomorrow. It just depends. Alright, so let's try this. You know the little bulb on here on the bottom, some of the push motors have got them, some don't. I'm thinking the majority do now, but I don't know. Well, you're supposed to prime it a certain amount of times. This one you're supposed to prime it 3 times. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bump it 1 time, and what it does is it pulls gas directly from the tank and injects it into the car. Once the lawnmower gets started, it automatically pumps it on its own anyway. Alright, so I just gave it a little sniff. Let's see if it'll even hit or miss or anything. Now if it gets loud, I apologize. You'll understand. Alright, well, there you have it. So, with that being said, in reality, all you guys have to do is just, you know, I had you propped up on the whole cub there. Is you just, you know, you think, you do a little bit of thinking. When's the last time this fucking carburetor had been cleaned out? You have to ask yourself. Now, I'm not saying that it's 100% clean, because it's not. All I did was just spray the inside of it out, because I got to thinking, what if, because it's got, I want to say, yeah, it's got 4 screws here on the bottom that mounts it to the tank. What if it had a gasket in between and they don't make the gasket anymore? I'd be screwed, you know what I'm saying? So I just left it up there, and we'll call it a tit. So what I'm gonna do now is put the air breather and filter back on, put the gas cap back on, and start it back up again, and we'll conclude today's video. Alright, well, we got it back together. I'm going to start it up again, and we're gonna run it for a minute or two, so it's gonna be loud. If you guys don't want to hear it, I apologize. There's not much I can do about it. I'm trying to get you guys into a good position here. Try to maybe wedge you between the seat and that flashlight I got you mounted on, or propped up against. And like I said, if you don't want to, if you wear earbuds and you listen to videos, now would be a good time to take them out. If you don't want to hear the noise, just mute it. And when I come back over there and pick the phone back up again, you can unmute it. But this is critical to see whether or not it's going to run longer than a minute. If it runs out of gas, it's one thing. If it dies on its own, it's another. may have been over a minute on that, and I apologize. Well, that's that. Well, that's a job well done, I would say. As far as the situation goes, I mean, you do a little bit of critical thinking. You kind of have to diagnose what's going on and why. All I was told is that 10 minutes after I left, it died and it wouldn't start back. And yeah, it's cold out here tonight. Ain't it some shit? It was just like 80 fucking degrees yesterday, and like supposed to be into like the 40s or 50s today, something like that. Cold enough where you can see your breath, I put it like that. But the oil hadn't been changed in it since we got it, and we didn't get it new. We got it used. The fuel had been sitting in it since last year, or last summer, spring. The filter in it's pretty good. It wouldn't hurt. I had changed the spark plug in it because the other one was damn near fouled out when we had an issue with it last time. But yeah. You say to yourself, okay, well, it ran when I left. 10 minutes after, obviously it got hot. It had gas. It had spark because it shocked the shit out of me when I tested it the day before yesterday. Or yesterday, I forgot what. My damn goatee was all fucked up there, you know. Doing a little bit of primping. You know how the girls do, they fix their fucking hair and, you know, they put their clown face on. But anyway, it ran, it got hot, it quit. Had spark, had fuel. An engine is pretty much a compressor, is all it really is, it amounts to. You know, you've got an intake side, an combustion point, and then an exhaust point. And if you pull the spark plug on it and you pull the handle a few times and you stick your hand over the exhaust and it's pushing air that way, that's one way of saying, okay, well, it's got combustion because it's moving air. Now, if it were like, you know, if it was a water-cooled engine, then obviously you may have some pressure loss due to radiator or water pump or intake or head gasket or something like that, because, you know, you've got water going through it and it's losing some compression. It's not holding air. Well, it would be losing water but not holding air at the same time. When they do a compression test on your vehicle, that's how to determine A, where it's leaking from, and B, where's it going, or, you know, what it could be. That's what was done to my truck when he did a compression test on it. It's like it was dropping off of like one cylinder, but it wasn't, you know, head gasket related, it was intake gasket. Oh yeah, that's another thing too. If you have that year model truck and you've got the spider injector in it, the original one, and you ever have to go in and change the intake gasket, you might as well go ahead and do the fucking injector setup while you're in there. I think you can get it between $150 and $300. Cheaper ones obviously online and in the stores are going to be more expensive. I have, if you look right there, hanging in that bottom, oh fuck it, I'll show you. So right here is my old spider injector. And pretty much, you know, you got the electricals that go in, and somehow or another it gets gas from somewhere on it. I don't remember where. And it's got, you know, a vacuum on top or whatever, and each tube It's got, you know, fuel going through it. This is the old setup. The old ones are notorious for the clips breaking bad on them, because it's supposed to be 2 clips, whereas that one's got 1, and you know that one's got 2 right there. The new one, however, has got the injectors on the actual ends, so you're changing it from, what was it, a multi-port? No, a sequential fuel injection to multi-port injection. But yeah, I mean, you know, if you're gonna do that, you might as well go ahead and change that shit too, because if not, and you end up having starting problems and poor fuel mileage and hesitating and making all kinds of racket under the hood, and yeah, you're gonna wish you had. It was one of GM's flops, should I say. Every manufacturer has a flop. GM had 2. The older Saturns. Now, I got to thinking about that too. Not only was it, let's say 3 actually, the Geos, which ended up turning from the Geo name, and it dropped off and ended up being Chevrolet. So like, instead of it being a Geo tractor, it was a Chevrolet tractor, or Geo Prism to Chevrolet Prism. The Prisms, like the 93, 94, 95 models, was all it was a fucking Corolla. I'm being for real. If you think about that, if you took like a 95 Corolla and a 95 Prism and you parked them side by side, it's the same damn car. Just as Infiniti is the Nissan, GMC is the Chevrolet, Mercury is the Ford. Mazda was with Ford at one point in time, but I think they've went on their own now. Acura is the Honda, and there's several others, but that's not the part of the topic today. When you come down to a situation like this with your lawnmower, just do a little bit of diagnosing. Take your time and be patient with it. Whereas, you know, where the Cub behind me, you know, the old Cub right there, it had, you know, starting issues right after I got it. And, you know, they put a fuel filter on it and cleaned the lines and cleaned the tank and put fresh gas in it, and they got it to run. Well, that's all fine and good, but when it started dropping pressure and wasn't getting enough fuel to the actual carb, well, then it was time to spend a little bit more money. And, you know, with me undoing the taking the actual fuel pump off, seeing that it had gas on the line from the tank to the pump, and then from the outside of the pump to the carb, there was no fuel. So you change the pump, you kick it a few times, you still don't get anything. Okay, you undo the line on the pump on the inside, because you know you've got an inside and an outside. Well, if you took the out would be going to the carb. You undo that line, you take a little bit of compressed air, you shoot it into it, and you blow out whatever trash and shit was in there to begin with. And that's what ended up happening. So it may not have needed a fuel pump to begin with, but now I don't have to worry about it. And I think that one's got a warranty anyway. So, yeah. But with this one behind me, as far as this push mower is concerned, it wasn't that it wasn't getting fuel. It's just that maybe the fuel was bad. The spark plug was dirty, was kind of wet, so that means it was flooding. Now, if it had been drenched in oil, we might have had an internal problem, which we'll probably end up considering getting a new push mower. I want to try to find a decent self-propelled one. We went to Lowe's last night, and we seen it was a Troy built, but it had a Honda engine on it. that one was pretty pricey. It was like 280, 380, something like that. I don't remember what. Then there was a Kubota that had all-wheel drive. It was a push mower with all-wheel drive. Can you believe that? And the tires looked like little tractor tires. So I don't know if my mom, you know, she likes to push. I didn't mean to make it sound as if like yesterday's video when I was talking about her using the push mower for exercise. It wasn't that I was, you know, insinuating that she was fat or overweight, or, you know, that's all she could do was the push mower thing. I told her that when she got her hip straightened out, and 'cause she had hip surgery a while back, that I was going to set her up on a riding mower and let her go at it one time to see how she liked it, because she's never ridden on one before. And this is my second one I've owned now. The first one was a pile of shit. For real. I paid $300 for it. It was like an old Murray, and it had a what was the engine that was on that thing? Well, anyway, it was something that I couldn't hardly a Tamatsu, some stupid fucking engine name, and I couldn't find parts for it. I tried and tried and tried and just couldn't find shit. Now, yeah, I could have bought another engine for it and put it on there, but why when I can go out and buy another lawnmower that works just as good and I can find parts for it? Example right there. That was built in America, and it's got an American engine on it, you know? And I can find parts for it all day, every day. And of course, you know, eventually that'll get upgraded too, and I'll maybe end up getting my dream lawnmower of being a John Deere. I'd love to have like the big, maybe the 46-inch. I forgot what model it is, but it's got the big tires on the back. They're bigger than them. Those are kind of tiny, but it had the bigger tires on the back and the smaller, you know, the smaller tires on the front, obviously, and bunch of other shit. But anyway, that's beside the point too. Yeah, when you come to fixing stuff like that, just diagnose it very well and take your time. Don't rush. And if you start getting to a point where you're upset and pissed off or whatever, just back away from it. Go smoke a cigarette, drink you a beer, hit the joint, do a line, whatever you do. I'm just messing. Just calm down and come back to it and think, because if you keep continuously doing something and you're not getting anywhere, you're obviously doing it wrong. So just stop, chill out for a minute, and come back to it. If you come back to it with a positive attitude, you'll get farther 100% faster than you would with a negative attitude and not getting anywhere. But anyway, I'm gonna go in the house and try to figure out what to do about this whole Photoshop situation. All the other shit worked out fine, and now this one wants to be a dick. That said, I ask you to please leave a comment, let me know what you think. You might as well subscribe if you haven't already. And until tomorrow, stay groovy.